All right, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to do balls glide with Team Rose. For those who don't know, balls glide is a trick where we can basically glide off the rail in Rail Canyon and skip having to climb the pole. It's a pretty tricky trick here, so bear with me. I'm going to show what it looks like when done correctly, and it might take me a few tries. Never mind, I'm the GOAT and got it first try. All right, anyways, so that's what balls glide looks like. As you can see here, oops. It skips doing this section here, right? So like normally we would jump here and then spin up the rail, or the pole, if you will, and then hop here, right? So I think it saves like 8 seconds or something. But yeah, so that's the trick. So how do we do this trick? Okay, so I have a save state set here. This is basically right before the last speed boost here. Before we're going to the section where we need to do it, okay? So it really doesn't matter. You do need, like, the speed works. Basically, holding B through this booster will give you the speed. Will give you the speed you need. Yeah, I'm about to explain pause glide. So first part is make sure you're doing that. You don't need to do any switch or anything. Just make sure you're holding B going through this last speed pad. It'll give you the speed you want. So now I'm just holding B, right, this section. So basically what we need to do is jump and then pause at the right timing, okay? So this is basically what a pause glide is, because we need to be able to jump off the rail, right? We can't just glide without jumping. So basically the first part of this, the first goal is we want to be able to jump to initiate the glide as big, obviously. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold B, and then I'm going to get toward the spot that I'm looking for, and I'm going to switch to big and jump. Okay, you can't, if you jump as Amy, it's not going to work, obviously, because we're deploying the umbrella. I'm going to switch to big and jump. Okay, so let's see if I can find the spot here, and I'll kind of give an example of the spot. So looking at this rail here, I kind of like to do it by, this is actually a pretty good frame for this here. Right where the rail, so, you know, there's like the 3 bars that come out, and then there's a section where they are all together and then they come out again. Basically, like right here is what you're aiming for. And as you can see, I have switched to big and I jumped, which means I have the opportunity to balls glide here, right? The way you can tell that you jumped and you didn't rail switch off is because you have the purple glow. Okay, that's a big indicator. So generally when we're pausing here to see if we got the input we need, we're looking for that purple glide, or that purple glow. So this might be a little bit weird because I need to lose a frame here to get the emulator unpaused. Oh, crap. Okay, that's fine. I actually have a save state set up here. So we, you know, we have this area where you can do the trick, right? There's going to be times where you're going to miss it. I'll try and go through everything. I'm just trying to explain this as best as I can right now. So if you get this section, where you have successfully switched to big and jumped and have this purple glow, you can do the next step. The next step is we need to deploy umbrella. Okay, and so once you get to this pause, the reason why we're pausing, right, is so we can change our inputs within the frames that we need to do it. Basically, every frame that you have jumped off from this rail, you are losing that speed and height that you need to clear the building, essentially, right, the pole. So that's why we pause right after the jump, okay? So now we've done that, you want to hold up directly, okay? And then when you unpause, you need to press A right away. Now, the thing about unpausing here is if you just try to unpause in a normal grip and then press A, it's going to be really hard because your thumb has a long distance to go from the start to the A button, right? And in that time, you're going to be losing those frames that I was talking about to where it might impact your ability to do the trick in time. So what I like to do, and what a lot of people do, is overhand. So I actually use my index finger here to unpause, and then I use my middle finger to press A. And if you do that, remember while we're holding up here, right? So if you do that together, oops, I let go A. So holding up, unpause, hold A, like this. Then you get that launch. Now, one thing that I didn't talk about that much that I want to make sure I also go over here is the actual inputs to jump off the rail in time, okay? Because before we even get to that, we need to make sure we can get the spot. And this is probably the trickiest part, I would say, of the trick. So, I'm holding B here. Going to the spot. Okay, I'm gonna pause a little early. So I'm upcoming on the spot, right? Like I had said, remember how I said there were the 3 lines, and you kind of want to do it right where they're in the middle. So that's like a little bit off screen here. Now the issue is similar to what I was just saying about going from the start to the A button. We need to go from X to A really fast, okay? While also holding B. And this is where it gets tricky, right? Because again, if I'm holding the B button and I need to go X to A, while like I can try and switch from B to A, but what I actually do is I do claw here and I slide X to A like this with my finger. Okay, so you can also see on my input display in the bottom corner. So basically, because we're Amy right now, we're holding B because we need the rail speed, and then we're gonna go X to A. Okay, so let me get the right state here. Like this. Okay. And I actually hold A, or I'm holding B the whole time to maintain that speed. I don't know, Joey, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you do need to be holding B on that area. But anyway, so as you can see, I'm in that exact region that I was talking about. I have the purple glow, right? And I did the input by sliding X to A. I guess Joey in chat is saying I do pointer on A, pointer on B, middle on A. Yeah, so Joey's doing this method. Ring on X. That's interesting. So like this. So you can kind of choose what you want to do. I play melee, so I'm pretty used to just playing with claw in certain situations. So for me, it was more natural to do this. But if you find that this works better for you, you can do that. Sorry if this isn't the best. I'm trying my best here to show. So anyways, that's important. So here again, now that we've gotten the correct frame, we can initiate the trick. So if you don't, let's say you don't get the correct frame, like let's say big is still on the rail when you pause, or you don't have the purple glow, you don't try to do the other shit. It's not going to work. It's going to mess up. Just try and recover and do the rest normally. But here, it looks like we have a correct one. Now, I'm almost wondering if this won't work, just so I can explain, because sometimes you'll see this, and then you'll glide straight back into the rail. But let's see. Yeah, so just like that. So that will also happen too, which is fine. You're just going to have to do the rest of the pull normally, right? So basically, I hope you're understanding that this trick is very precise to get, and you really got to find your timing and the spot. I'm going to go back to the state here where it's already done correctly to show you again. So if that were in the correct spot, once again, you're going to hold up. You need to unpause, and right as you unpause, you need to hold umbrella like this. And if you do that correct, you're holding umbrella this whole time, by the way, and then you can drop it and then keep moving. I like to ground excel after, but I was a little too close there. But yeah, so just like this, and keep moving. So what happens if you're late pressing A here? So I'm gonna intentionally be late. Oops. So like this, you're gonna have it where I can't move my camera. I'm trying to, and you're gonna fall to your death slowly. That's why we do the pause, because you need to do this instantly. If you wait even a few frames like this, see? I only waited an extra like 4 frames, but it kills you. So that's why literally you're unpausing and pressing A. Not at the exact same time, because exact same time doesn't give you enough height here, and you hit the barrier and fall down. You need to do 1, 2, basically, and that will give you the right spot that you're looking for. Okay. So once again here, I'm going to show you the first part. So, you know, you're holding B through the speed pad. And now I'm going to do the X to A thing like I was talking about, like this. Let's see if I can find the spot. Okay. Now I've recognized that I'm in the region where it works, usually. I have big jumping, which is, you can see the purple, so I'm going to initiate it. But there's a chance he just glides straight into the rail and I don't get it. Let's see. Okay, yep, so I was a little early here, which is why he'd end up going backwards. So, like I was saying, it's going to take a lot of practice to get the precise spot down. This is a good example of I didn't get the jump and switch at the right timing here because, as you can see, Big is not glowing purple. So he's actually still on the rail here. So I'm just going to hold B and then do the rest of it normally, right? So yeah, it's just going to be precise. You'll get it down with time, but you just got to go through the trials and tribulations. So yeah, figure out what grip works for you for this section. Like I said, I like to use, here, let me, this region is like kind of the way you can think about where you need to do it, right where the 2 lines form. And then play around with your spot. Things do get adjusted a bit by your spot, so just play around with it, and hopefully something you find is consistent, and you can keep moving. Now, sometimes you're going to lose, like here I'm a little too short to actually make it. Sometimes you're going to have a weird one where you need to land on this open part, right? Because the pole's right here. If that's the case, I would recommend, especially if you're newer, to switch to flight here. Because you might land and then like instantly fall off, but if you're flight, you can save yourself and not lose the time. I would show it here, but unfortunately I'm too short. I can't make it. See, I ran out of momentum forward. But yeah, so hopefully that gives you a good understanding, and you can go from there on Balls Glide. So like that one was early. This might be early. Okay. So this one I initiated the glide, but I was too early on the rail that I did not get the like forward momentum needed to clear it. So I'm actually glad I'm hitting all these different ones to kind of show you the different things that can happen.